on. Okay, so today is Thursday, October 29th, yes? And this is what our agenda is for today. So today I'm going to review your banner and outdoor ad projects to see if there's any questions for anybody who reviewed Tuesday's video. And if any questions arose, did you have time to do that? Look at the video, Rachel? You did? Did you have questions about it? Not that you're thinking of. Okay. I'd also like to just pull up here, if now the screen behind me is on, if you can take a look. Take a look that you have quizzes open. And so come November, you have a couple quizzes ready to roll. All right? So make sure, I'll open quiz number 9 for you too, but make sure that you don't forget the quizzes exist. Okay? I'll start to set the date for today where they're available to you, because I don't know if they're available yet today. All right? Actually, I think quiz number 8 is available, which is why it's red. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. So please don't forget, I'm not a reminding kind of person, and this is your reminder. Yay. Okay, thank you. And then here we are. Here we're at where the course is, and we're looking kind of clean here, right? This is all in Sam's honor and in my type A personality. You will also have coming up for next week a design archive of finding 5 samples to put on your Google Drive of brochures that you like and why. All right? So you can get a jump start on that. Okay. Okay, good. So I did update our banner links with information that I was frustrated that I was not sufficient with to support you. So if you look up here, you'll see that I've kind of spruced it up a little bit. This pretty much sums up this little graphic here. Don't worry about the measurements. That's not relevant to you because I stole this. But this pretty much sums up to you what you're accomplishing, really. If you didn't realize what you're going after before, that's pretty much the essence of what you're doing, okay? And same thing here. It's pretty much the essence of what you do. Here's an iPad, here's a laptop banner, here's an iPhone banner. This is what you're doing. You're recreating these images. And as you can see for Athletica or Athleta, they don't really vary much, right? So the proportions of them are very similar. But if you start to look at the areas that are live in green here, you'll come to realize what your banner is really going to supply you with. Now, I also, just for the sake of clarity, I uploaded my work, my job I got paid for, okay? And there's a company called Epica, and on their website, they have this full image of a family walking on a beach, and it's really medical care for animals, truthfully. It pitches itself for family and all of humanity, but they haven't extended that far at this moment. And very much talk about the veterinary practitioners. So as you can see, the first banner ad, the reason why I posted this one, if you look in the upper right corner where it says banner tablet, that's my slug area. That's not an area that's live to anybody. And you know how your assignment requires that you create a slug? Everybody's clear about that. That's how I use it. And if you remember when I demoed it on Tuesday, I created a slug for my PDF as a reference to show my client this is your final banners in one cohesive file. Yet, when we took the PDF, exported the PDF without the slugs, those were the files I opened up in Photoshop and then saved for web and devices. Yeah? Everybody's with me on what I'm talking about? Okay. So you can see how this little teeny banner ad, 640 wide by 100 deep, was designed for an iPad screen also, But notice there's no image in it, and they wanted all their product logos, and the only thing they wanted to hit home here, because I told you it was for an app for a trade show, remember? All they really wanted to get across is go to booth 303. That's it, nothing more. I mean, there wasn't really enough room for a tagline. And then if we come down here, let me see if I can make this smaller. How do you guys make it smaller when it's on a screen?
Command plus minus.
Command minus will do it for the PDF? Okay. So here's a full screen iPad. And you can see it's fine. It's a full screen readable iPad. And this graphic in the background here is what you use on the home page of this client's website. It's all very ethereal and very visionary driven, you know, kind of, this is you standing in the sunlight with this brilliant idea, illuminating the world. That's really kind of their style. Now what happens here, and unfortunately, this is for an iPhone. And they, remember I told you they had so much content in it, so much content. So this is what they pared it down to. Now I don't think it's ideal. I really doubt anybody will read it. So that's why at the top we have the booth 303 on it.
I'm lost. I don't know if they're a subsidiary of which company that they mentioned in the last one.
Up here with these logos, you mean? Is that what you're talking about?
It's really helpful that I know they're a subsidiary of Epic International Incorporated.
Where are you looking? Down here?
No, up at the top.
Oh.
The top, no, right there.
Here.
The first sentence of this brackets.
It's helpful to you? Is that what you said?
Oh,
Not
helpful.
Not helpful.
Not at all.
Exactly. But this is the client's content. And I hope to God they never hear this video, right? This is the client's content. And it's important to them. And it's important to them for a bunch of reasons that probably don't matter to any of you. But they needed to get that message across. And that's the stuff that they can't let go of, right? So again, the main message is the fact that come to booth 303. And it's really just a branding thing. They're not showing you their products because their products are ugly. They're ugly medical products. They're
exactly like that. You just were like, all right,
well, so here's a truth with this one. This one here, with all the content and all the information, is kind of a mirror of their homepage website, honestly. So that's not a problem. It's a big screen. It'll be super clear. It's on a high resolution iPad, you know, the Retina display that we talked about the other day. And this one, on the other hand, is going to be on the iPhone, and probably how it looks to you right now is probably kind of how it's going to look on the iPhone, right? If you look on my screen here, you'll see there's some things that I do not like, which is some back shadowing going on the type at the top. You can see that. I find, in all truthfulness, it's not attractive to me. But it was the only solution for keeping the image consistent throughout these. I think the one below is even a smaller screen. And again, we had to beef up. I mean, if I told you they had about 6 paragraphs of type they wanted, you'd understand what we pared down. Personally, I think the only message that should have been there is visit us at booth 303 and see what we're all about, truly. But they wanted certain messages to come across. Yeah, John?
That's where collapsibles come in handy. If you look on our own website, you'll see everything's in a collapsible. So we've got a lot of content, but it presents very neatly.
John's right. But that wasn't an option here because these banner ads weren't designed. We're not designing the application. We're just plunking in something that fits a format that we've been given. And then again, you look proportionally at the very bottom one and you can see how tiny that one is. Now what I did for all of these for my ability to read them was I created this PDF and then I viewed this PDF on my iPhone. And when I created the first set of them, you know, so I emailed it to myself, the PDF, and you know how when you read a PDF on your iPhone, it scales to your page size? You guys know that, yeah? Have you done that with your phones?
send yourself a PDF or a JPEG, it'll scale to your page size. Even if it's a monster size, it'll scale it down. And what happens is when you scale it to your iPhone, like when you scale these two at the top right here, you can see how readable they are. And that's how you're going to proof what you do, right? And like John told you on Tuesday, less is better. It's a quick little glimpse. That's what I mean. These are just like flashing screens or screens that you're going to have to close out or whatever it is. And people probably aren't going to read through them. They're going to be annoyed by them. So what do you want them to see first, which is the booth number? But anyway, I gave you that PDF so you could see the slug and you can see the variety of page sizes in one PDF, because that's a submission you'll make. The other thing is, right here, you can see how I saved and exported all the JPEGs. What else did I do for you here that I added? I cleaned up your sizes so they're consistent. That was my fault. And I can easily show this to you. You know, it's interesting because Brendan and Guillermo today saw Lori's interactive PDF, and it's like, man, can I do that? So what I wanted to show you is right here, there's a tutorial link that I gave you to an assignment I've given out for a really long time, which is taking a really long time to load. But it's a link. Look at this thing slowly spinning. It's a link to a web page, an external one that is probably addressing Photoshop 4 or 5, not Creative Cloud. So parts of it will be a little different. Other parts of it will be very much the same. We're in spinning hell. Okay. Let me see if I could just do this. Copy, new, paste. There. Let's see if it gets us there. Or if we're in spinning hell.
Mine is going pretty slow today too.
Yours is doing the same thing. It's not. Okay. So maybe it'll show up. Anyway, I'll keep talking and ignore it for a moment. So it's a link to create an animated GIF. And if you want to do it together as a class, it's super simple, but I think it's not the best use of our time together, because I'd really like all of us to look at everybody's magazine ads instead and get very hands-on feedback for improving magazine ads as needed. But there's also, because I've taught this before, there's a Viki video, me demoing this, and John has so beautifully linked it to our past tutorials, and it's about 10 minutes long, and it just walks you through the steps, and it's very methodical, and it's just not brain surgery. It's kind of fun. So if you choose to make an animated GIF, which is that kind of flashing, changing banner thing, you are welcome to. I welcome you to. And that video and that link will kind of get you where you need to go. I updated right here the workflow that we demoed on Tuesday. That's our video, so you can refer back to it. Here's a link to tell you how to make a slug in case you forget. And here's a link to tell you, because we're still spinning, here's a link to tell you how to save for web and devices as I demoed on Tuesday, right? So, Paul, you had some questions. Do you still?
Oh, I mean, I kind of asked you already, but
You think you're good? Okay.
Just very quickly, if you're not using a raster image in your animated GIF, you're actually better off using an SVG, because it's like getting it out of Illustrator instead of Photoshop. It's smaller and quicker, and renders sharper, especially at smaller sizes.
And the SVG stands for?
Scalable vector graphics, and you can animate them.
So if you're familiar with that, which we haven't touched on at all.
It is indexed in the index, though.
Okay. There's John's reference.
So wait, there's also a video of how to do an animated SVG.
How to animate an SVG. Is there a video? If you go to johnlemon.info, yes. John will have you give you some resources, but animating in SVG is kind of like working in Flash, isn't it?
I hope not.
Yeah, I would not do it if I were you, personally. I would not.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to suggest in this class that you should. You should just be aware of it, that it's quicker and better.
Yeah. So I would not do it. I would stick with your Photoshop files, your raster images. And so, for example, if you wanted, taking John's boots, if you wanted John's boots to make tracks in the dirt up a mountain, right? 5 steps or something, you'd have 5 frames in your animation, basically. You're not going to have a lot of frames. And when I don't know why this is an unresponsive page. It's, we'll try it again. It shouldn't be unresponsive. Let me just see if it responds from a different location. Do you have patience for a minute to see if it's a bad link or not?
I just want to ask John, does that SVG fall into the same pitfall as Flash where it's not supported on Apple products?
No, it's quite the opposite. It's why Apple doesn't support Flash, because they're going for standards compliant.
HTML5?
Yeah, HTML5 stuff, and that's what SVG is. SVG is XML.
I don't know why I don't think the address is different. We don't need that. Let's see if there's a reason. Same page. I don't know what the deal is. Okay, so here's the page I'm trying to get you to. And so the link is exactly the same. I don't know why it's working now and it didn't a second ago, but here you go. So this is an assignment. It's really quite fun. You get to the bottom of the assignment and you'll be able to see what you're creating. You're basically making this rocket ship launch. And it counts down. 3, 2, 1, launch. Psh, goes off the edge of the page, right? Fun, simple. Remember doing that?
I did that one.
Yeah, and it's super simple. And what I want you to notice is, actually, here's the final animation I'm going to download right now. It supplies you with all your Photoshop files. If you go to the top here, an example animation Photoshop file, it supplies you with what you need. And if you follow the steps, you'll be in great shape. And also, if you close this window and go back here. And if you watch this little video demo at the 39-minute mark, I wrote it on there so you don't have to scrub through and try and find it yourself. It'll tell you what we're going to do. And right here, I'll launch Photoshop in a second and I'll show you the video, and the animation, and you'll see. So anyway, that's it for our banner ads and for animation. Are there any questions about those? Okay, some of you walked in late and some of you missed last Tuesday. To reiterate the highlights, you should watch the Tuesday video. The link to the Tuesday video is right here also on your banner page, ad assignment, and we're right here on this assignment page, which must have freaked out a Moodle. So this is the web banner ad assignment page we're at. Now, coming back to that, again, if you go to the master ad series page, the other assignment is the transit ads. So Paul, you watch the videos, and Rachel, you watch the videos regarding the transit ads. I added some new samples for you guys just to get a flavor of, you don't have to, just because I supply you with that transit ad template for the bus, the one that looks like this billboard, you don't have to use it. It's kind of boring when you look at how fun these busy city ones are, right? You just got to find high resolution for your portfolio. Same thing if you go to the transit bus template. That's a little boring compared to the other ones I think I showed you here. Yeah, when people are walking by the transit ads. So you decide how to present your final submission. You know, what kind of wow. Just because I gave you a template doesn't mean you're stuck with that one, by the way. All right. Paul, who listened to Tuesday's video very thoroughly, thankfully said, but Vicki, you said don't distort something. And I think he was concerned that, what do you mean I can't change things around oh, I can't distort it to put it on these displays, to embed it on these displays, right? And the answer is, of course, you'll have to shape it to fit the screen of the billboard or the screen of the transit display. You understand that? Yeah? Okay. What I meant by don't distort is if you have a magazine ad and your image needs to shrink smaller, don't just smash it down like this, like you take this piece of paper and you smush it like that. Don't smush it like that. That's my point. Don't distort it. In other words, you're going to have to take a portion of that image because the whole image won't show. Yeah? That makes sense. Okay. Read this for your support materials. The other thing I gave you here, which you didn't have before, is I just cleaned everything up for continuity. And again, to reiterate, I don't want to overstate this. You can do as much of this as you want. Pull-up banners, tabletop banners, window displays, signage. The more you do, awesome. Go for it. Because once you're kind of doing this and you're pulling it together, you may as well just keep having fun with it, right? Everybody is welcome to, is what I want to say. Okay. Any question? Yeah, Brooks?
Do we have to use the same imagery as the
magazine ad?
ads?
Yes, you sure do.
The exact image?
Yes. Not the exact image. You can reconfigure the location or the proportion or the placement. But yes, because you're keeping a consistent brand. You walked in a little late, and one of the things we looked at earlier was here on the banner ads. And if you look at the Athleta, you'll notice it's the same image from device to device. So the idea is you're creating a magazine brand which carries through to a digital publication brand, a digital advertising brand, to an outdoor display brand, all the same imagery. Okay? When we move to our big assignment, the brochure, which is going to wrap up our semester, you'll be able to add more images. But your branding, your color, your logo, your use of type, and so forth will, your branding will be the same, but you'll be able to add more images, and it'll have a fresher look.
So like for me, so since I have 3 pretty much fully developed magazine ads, can I use any of the 3, or do I have to pick one?
No.
They're all in the same.
You can use, what was your product again? I forgot.
Nike ID.
Nike ID.
And I have the one Escher, the one.
Yes. Yes, you can use any one you want for any of them because you developed 3 thorough ads. Yes. It's going to serve you. That extra mile of having 3 options serves you because you've got a campaign that when you put them all together is going to look cool, right? So like your bus billboard could be different than your transit because they're both your magazine ads. All right. Any questions about the outdoor stuff? All right. Tuesday, you're going to come in with your final banner ads. Like, we're just going straight to the final banner ads, and we'll critique them and look at them. But I think everybody's pretty clear how efficient that was, yeah? All right. If you missed Tuesday, please watch the video. I think it's super explicit and helpful. It walks you through all the steps and will save you some time. To go into our downloads folder, I'm going to locate our sample animation file. Okay. And what you'll come to notice here is here's the Photoshop file they supplied you with. And our fonts don't work. But if you, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, one of the differences between the tutorial and what happens now in Photoshop Creative Cloud is it keeps referring to set up animation frames. And you're gonna look here for animation and you're not gonna find it. So don't be frustrated, because what you have to go down to nowadays is called timeline. And then timeline shows up in different ways. It shows up as frames, which is how this is set up right now for you. Let me pull this higher on the screen so you can see it. And you'll notice in frames there's timing set up right here at the bottom of the screen. This is a 1/10 of a second or a 60th of a second. What is that? 10th or 60th? maybe a tenth of a second.
You're on
And-
footage.
I'm sorry? I'm in Photoshop. And this is 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. You notice 1 second. And then it goes here when the rocket ship is blasting off, it goes to a tenth of a second again. So if I play this, notice it's also on a loop that says forever down here at the bottom. And if I hit the play button, you'll see what this animation teaches you to do. 3, 2, 1, launch, blast off, off it goes. Fun, right? It's cute. And if you follow the steps and you do the tutorial, which will take you all of 10 minutes because it supplies you with the files, I would download the files at the beginning so you build it yourself and know how to. Otherwise, you're really not going to learn. You'll realize how to make an animated GIF. And then how to export an animated GIF is very simple. You go to export. This is in our tutorial anyway. Save for web. It's a little different than it'll tell you on that screen because this is Creative Cloud and not a really old format. So save for web. You get this dialog box, and you don't save it as a JPEG. You have to save it as a GIF. And you click save and make sure that it saves with a GIF suffix. I'll put it on the desktop and you'll see when I save it, if I am in Chrome and I go from Chrome, File Open, Command O, and I locate the GIF and I open it in a browser, Chrome, Safari, Firefox, I click Open and it's going to automatically play for us. It's just what happens when you see it in the browser, which is fun, right? And then it's just going to keep redoing it if it's set for forever, I think. Yeah. Okay? Any questions about that? And that's for fun. That's for kicks. I think you guys would have a fun time doing it, particularly since you were enthralled a bit with interactivity. Yes? All right. I think I'm going to stop talking today and let all of you talk. How's that? Does that work for all of you? Does anybody else have a different agenda today than reviewing each other's magazine ads? Okay. That's good, yes? We want sharing them all? All right. Yeah, Jay.
I never got to present my design book. I don't know if you need me to, but that's all right.
Oh, I got to get the design books. I have them for everybody. So, no, we're not going to go backwards on that one, okay? Unless you feel really badly about it and you want us to.
I just didn't know if it was part of the grade.
Not for now. Okay. You can present it to me.
Yeah, that's fine. I can
Okay.
do it.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to go here to our magazine ads. John, you presented yours. Paul, is your final one up here?
It says,
Yes, it is under progress, or
yeah,
up here.
I updated.
You want to present yours?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going from the bottom is what I'm doing for everybody.
I might have put in a new one, so if that's the very last one, then it's probably not it. If it's on the very bottom, it's probably not.
No, it's October 21st.
Okay. I think so. I'll just double check.
Did you already present this to us? Is it different than what you
This one
presented?
just has the 3 final
Okay.
magazines that I picked and that I worked on, and then the one in the actual magazine.
Okay.
And I think I did this correctly, right? I had the paper, these things.
The
correct?
crop marks? No.
No?
Can I tell you what's wrong with it?
Is it not all the way to the edge?
So let's go to your magazine ad itself and let's see.
Should I put them on double spreads because they're all divided?
Okay, so 2 things you're all going to need to know, which is something to learn. So that's your final one. That's your final ad.
Yeah.
That's it. Hang on. That's a nice presentation of how it's placed in the publication. That's nicely done. Go back to one of your final pages. When you create, these are called printer's marks, all props and leaves. When you set up your InDesign document, all of you should set up an InDesign document with a bleed, with an 1/8 of an inch bleed, 0.125. When you export to a PDF, one of the choices you select is you click all printer's marks and bleeds, and then below it,
there's one more checkbox which says
Use document settings.
use document
So I
based
didn't click
settings.
the last box.
You did click the last box.
So what does the last box do?
It'll have your image extend beyond your trim for printing.
But what if that's not how I want it? I mean, if this is like right toward the edge, then the bleed is going to get chopped off. So you're cutting off excess image.
Yes.
But if it's already to the line, then what does that mean? Is when it gets chopped off, there's going to be like a white trim on it or something?
Exactly. Exactly right. Exactly.
I'm answering my own questions.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Pretty much.
And so, I mean, and it's really an important thing to know. It's an important thing to understand. So you build it so it extends beyond. So when it gets chopped off, you won't have the white edge. Yes.
Okay. I didn't know about the last box.
That's okay. That's all right.
All right.
It's all right.
So I have to. Do you want me looking at this where it's two spreads, or I mean, I basically.
Oh,
we're
so
done.
one of the ways we could do that is let's open it in. We can't do it in the
I could do
browser.
it here, can't I? It's where it's view.
We have to view it in the in Acrobat. So let's go to downloads. Let's launch that. We'll go to downloads. And we could go here,
Wow, that's big.
Command 0. And you could go to view. And you could do 2-page view. And the one more thing, which we'll get into when you design your brochures, is if you want your magazine spreads to sit side by side when you export them, you have to click a button called Spreads. And when we get into your brochures, we'll go over that. Don't stress over it now, because this assignment really wasn't about spreads.
Okay.
You're just different.
All right.
Special.
This is a question that kind of goes
Yeah.
for everybody too. So for it says our banner ads have to include our briefs. So how much of this brief do like?
You can just add it all. Just take a brief you got and add to the end of it.
So basically, just to like.
Yeah.
To,
The brief, you don't need the magazine. Yeah, you don't need the magazine
I don't know,
part.
it's like somewhere around here.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
You're not recreating the wheel with brief, okay? Everybody gets that, right?
It's not on. It's not. Just I'm like where it should be.
It's not the right sequence to
Yeah.
line up right?
Yeah.
Well, hang on. There's one magic solution to that. Where should it start?
One down.
Okay.
No.
I know.
Sorry.
I know.
Try to get the first page as a cover page.
I'm just trying to delete a page. And I'm so not good at this new DC that when I want to delete a page, it used to be really easy, and it is no
I think it's
longer.
under tools next to home, below organized pages.
Probably edit PDF.
Under organized pages, you can remove them just to remove.
I think it might be organized pages is right. No, edit would mean I'm going to do type. Oh, this is so frustrating. Wait, hang on one second. I'm going to make this faster for us. We just scoot your chair over a little.
See, just inside the window, you've got home tools and.
What did you just say? I'm sorry.
Just below that, get out of there. Get out of there
Uh-huh.
and go below that, like click out of the edit thing and go like a little bit down on the screen, and you've got tools right there.
Yeah.
And then
Ah,
if you go to
there we go.
edit pages, you should be able to visually see and move the organized pages. I mean, it's the third one on the top. You can delete one. And then next to tools, you go back, or under organized pages up at the top next to that little teal thing. Yeah.
So you want?
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you. I do not work with this one. I still stay in.
It had everything.
I know. It all around.
So yeah,
Okay.
this is what I did. I made a black. The only thing I think I added differently from the last time everyone saw it was I added a black box. I faded it out to transparent. I went on Photoshop and I got these watches individually because I saw there was a picture that had them all already, but it was low res. So I got a bunch of high res watches and then I just kind of put them together to recreate the picture. And that's it. And did the same thing for all the rest. And then I picked this one. I only had a little bit of trouble with because the text is always linear, so when you warped it or messed with it, it kind of stays linear and it didn't really,
Distort.
yeah, the way I wanted it. So I added a little bit of glare and shadows to kind of, I don't know, fake you out. But it couldn't really help this side, so
That's great.
that's
So can we see your series of choices? You had a few.
So I had this one, and then I had this one, and then I had this one.
So can you go back to the one on the bottom?
Your text is not finished.
One more.
My what?
It says now, then it says
Oh.
period, and then it says comma period.
Oh yeah, so I don't know why there's a period there. But then it's so continuous. So it says now, then, and then do you have time at the end?
Oh.
But I don't know if that was really smart or not.
So your next page, that one. So, oh, it's her board. I saw the yellow by her hands, and I thought, what is that? And it's her board.
I had to like play with it because I needed to work with the gutter.
Yeah.
And if I had the board fully in, then she'd be like kind of like distorted into the gutter.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted her center of the page. And then the board, I guess, was just, it's not that important because you see it, you kind of get the rest of it. So
Yeah. So I'm moving closer just so this recording picks up. So comments for Paul?
Maybe you should just edit in a watch on her wrist or something.
I tried, like, I looked up other like watches and I tried like photoshopping it. I don't know, I'm kind of really picky about it looking real. So I don't know, I had to fuzz it out because the picture, like, it's kind of like, it has a little like, it's kind of like fuzzy. It's not that it's low res, it's just that's how the picture is. I don't know, I couldn't get it to look real. So I just didn't want to do it, put it in there. So I just thought I could just put all the series of watches and then your choice kind of.
There's one way Gaussian blur in Photoshop is the most similar to actual camera blur.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's what I would probably recommend. You should try that if you want to get the same type of blur.
I should have played with it a little bit more. I was practicing with like opacity, and then I was kind of doing a fuzz tool, like this fuzzy kind of tool thing where it would like kind of not pixelate it, but it kind of blurred
Just
it
like
out.
mellowed it,
Yeah.
just- yeah.
So, yeah, but that, I don't know. And I had the way like to get it to like look like it's distorted and wrapped around her wrist was like the hardest part because I don't know, the lighting on the watch was different to the lighting on the outside. It was so much work that I was kind of just like, I don't think I can get it to look 100% either way.
What's the next image?
Was this one? And I tried the same thing with the watch on her wrist, and it kind of even looked like could work because there was like a little band on her wrist where it's
Yeah.
like,
It could have been.
like there could have been a watch there, but I couldn't do it. I don't know. I
You
hate.
didn't feel like you had the skill.
Yeah, so I just didn't. I didn't want to mess it up.
And then the next one.
And the next one was this one.
Okay. So, any other thoughtful comments for Paul?
I think that you should proofread your text because the signing also has like a capital D. I don't really know why.
I also don't know.
Yeah, but just like small things.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not just like picky.
That's good. Whenever I read through it, I never catch it. Like I'll always leave like 2 U's right after each other, like the word, and I like just skip through it. I'm like, oh.
You can just open it up in like any Word program and just have it, it show you everything that's wrong.
Yeah.
This one, while the now then, do you have time makes sense in the other one because it's directly.
Yeah,
below
but
it.
this one's first.
Yeah. And it works from a visual balance thing because you got them like opposite.
I was
corners.
playing with it, and I couldn't. And I was like, if I put it on this side, it's not going to look good because that then is just one page,
Yeah.
and it seems kind of off. So I was playing with it. I'm like, I think this is it looked nice the way it is, but it probably didn't make as much sense as I'd like it to have.
could
but
maybe-
I knew I wasn't gonna choose this one at the end,
you could
so
maybe,
I kind of just
horizontal-
left it as is.
like flip the image and see if that looks okay.
That's true. I could have done. Oh, that's smart. I totally could have done that.
It's
wow.
why we critique together. Yes.
Sometimes it doesn't look okay, but it's worth trying.
No, I would have totally worked. I don't know why I didn't think of that. So,
Next
yeah,
time.
that's it.
More thoughts? Do we have more? Yeah, Chris.
It's a little type thing on the dots, and maybe it's with that here, but it looks like the dots are just a little too tight. You're
Yeah.
Period or track it out so that it has a little bit.
These dots right here.
Yeah, they have more room to.
It was another typo someone caught that
Can you
it's.
launch InDesign while we're talking?
It was another typo I caught. There was a comma and then it was a period afterwards. I don't know why, but I knew I wanted a comma there. I don't know why. I guess I put a period accidentally.
For all of you, you've all made really, really great points. I mean, first off, just to start with, your selection of options and your spreads and your image and your branding, you've definitely created a style for the watches. And the images are really attractive, so they're going to draw somebody in no matter what. You're going to relate to it. I think we probably all agree that we want to watch on the Surfer, right? Yeah.
It's always weird when you see ads and there's things that you don't have. things
Right,
that
but you're not
advertise.
wearing your product, right? Yeah. Is this just an ad for a girl in a bikini, or is this a watch ad, right? And so you want to see the product on there. So I don't know what that means for you.
I was looking at pictures that with the same Surfer with the watch, but it wasn't the watch. Because I kind of created something in the text that I used to write it. It was kind of talking about like a classy, like nice watch. And
Yeah.
then the watch she was wearing was kind of like boxy and stuff. I didn't think it
You-
matched
I
it.
think you're going to have to go in and Photoshop it.
Yeah.
You are. Yeah, I do think so.
I worked on it so long.
No, I
I didn't
understand.
like it when I did it. though.
Yeah, I know, I understand. But when you get to your brochure, I mean, you're done with these. So this is about your future steps to this.
Okay.
So, for example, if this is the brand you're going to use for your brochure, then I suggest you take it further. The other thing is when you're in InDesign, if everybody can look up here, please. Everybody look up here, please. If you go to File, Open, please, and go to Open Recent. Oh, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. I'm sorry. It's my fault. It's okay. Stay where you are. You're fine. Go to Vans, Paul. That's fine. There you go. Double click on it. Yeah. Okay. If you click on the type tool and click on, let's say, your headline. Okay. And if you go up to type, glyphs,
Where?
type at
Oh.
the top,
Mhm.
glyphs. Yep. There's a display window. You could tear it off at the top, the little tab on the top where the word glyph is. Tear it off. Yeah, and drag it to the middle of the screen. Yeah. Now pull the corner of it and make it big, please. Big, big, big. Yeah. There you go. Okay. So if a font has a special character, this is an easy place for you to find it in InDesign. You know, sometimes they'll have a special key command to get to that special character, but I never remember the key commands. So I'll go to the type glyphs, open this window, and locate it. And all of you have commented that the period, can you make this bigger, please, wider? Yeah. All of you have commented how the last period was weird because it didn't have a typo. And the other one, yeah, keep going. And the other one, maybe you guys can help me find it. There's a ellipse.
Bottom right.
Here. This is one character. Everybody thinks that ... business is 3 periods, but it's a glyph, and it's called an ellipse, and it's a glyph. So you would just click on that, and the reason is the type designer has decided exactly the distance for each of those ... so you don't get that too close to something, okay?
Doesn't automatically change like it does in Word.
Does it automatically change to it? No, it does not. Does it do that in Word? Oh, okay. No, it doesn't.
It's just like
And-
every language.
Yeah, it would be different characters for other languages. Yeah. So when you need
enjes and you need umlauts and you need,
Dashes or something.
yeah. Oh, and does it have M dashes? Yeah, if you can't remember the short command for long dashes and short dashes also, you can find all your dash lengths right here, from a hyphen to an N dash, N like Nancy, to an M dash, M like Mary. You can find those here too. And sometimes it's kind of cool, you know, actually, you know that Artemis logo that you saw in that banner ad? Did you guys notice that at all? The word Artemis, and it had a T, and the T looked like a symbol, like a cross, like a stylized cross. Well, it was that font's stylized symbol, and I don't know what the symbol's called, but like the cross here, like the cross here. And it worked beautifully in the logo design for the T to look very French, which was their whole logo thing, which you probably saw was the fleur-de-lis. So that is about your ellipses. You can close this window, or about glyphs. And then the other thing is if you go to,
Like close all of
yeah,
it?
just that, yeah.
Okay.
And if you go to edit, and you go down to check spelling, there, sit on that one, all right?
Where I'm not, no.
Spelling.
Do you see it? There
I was
it is.
looking for check.
Okay.
I was like, where's
Oh,
check
sorry.
spell?
So there's spelling, and check spelling is Command I, and you can check your whole document, a selection, a story, or something. Do it, okay?
Well,
It won't catch things like if I always type incorrectly you instead of your. It won't catch a correctly spelled word misused, which Word does. So sometimes if I'm really concerned that I've really missed it and I'm the only eyes on it, I'll sometimes copy my text into Word just to see what I've done wrong. So I suggest that to all of you. The other thing is if we come to your magazine ad, no, you can close that. That's great.
Okay.
Thank you. If we come back to your magazine ad, don't go away.
Oh, sorry.
Okay,
There we go.
don't go away. You have very few hyphens here and short lines of text. I would recommend here, when you spell check it, carefully read your text and eliminate hyphens. You can eliminate hyphenation, I think I showed you like day one in InDesign, but you can turn off hyphenation. Or you can hit a soft return to create a line break to eliminate a hyphenation also. Soft return is shift return, which doesn't break up your lines, doesn't break up your paragraphs. It does break up your lines. It puts, where you put that soft return, shift return, it makes the next word go on the next line. Okay? And those are details that are going to be really, really critical as you do your brochure. Okay? You're not going to have that much text in your banner ad, so it's probably a non-issue, but keep it in mind. Anyway, so beautiful work. Great. That was good. Nice job. So who's coming up next? Let's see who's next on this list. Anybody want to walk up here?
I will.
Okay.
I'm totally done.
Did you upload
Yeah,
this one?
what I have. Yeah.
That, okay.
I feel like I'm always a few steps behind everyone, but I don't think I've gotten any feedback. So
Is this your, oh, one was nighttime.
Still need.
That's better. That's the one you want, because that's later. That's the 26th, and that's the 21st. So, let's open it here.
Or maybe this is the.
Okay. If you guys could give your attention up here, that'd be great.
So I still have some stuff to do, but I hadn't gotten any feedback, so I just wanted to kind of get critiqued. You just want to show the finals?
Yeah, we're just going to finals.
Okay. So it doesn't have crop marks or anything.
Did you submit this?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have one final, right?
I have two. Start with this one.
Did you show us your images, your digital
I
progress?
haven't showed anything so far.
You haven't.
No.
Would you like to see her everything?
Yes.
No, you don't need to see my everything. Let's just do
Yes.
this quick.
They want to see your everything.
Starting with what?
Just walk through the design brief.
Oh, really?
This is it. This is good.
Okay.
You can talk
This
us
is
through
not-
the narrative of it. That's okay.
Okay. I chose a company that's kind of a small company, and I a little bit regret it just because the images are hard to find, high resolution. But it's called Nika. You may have seen it. It's a nonprofit. They just create water bottles right now, basically, and use these watercolor images of real children in developing countries, and they donate 100% of their proceeds to these countries. They have like projects all over the world that are in underdeveloped countries that need help with their water supply, sanitation, that kind of thing. So I really love the whole philosophy behind it. Anyway, they have done some marketing, but not that much, and so a lot of their images are pretty low quality. But anyway, I love the watercolor, and I like the concept behind it. It's called Nika. These are some of my roughs. I just used the pen tool in Illustrator to create a water bottle, and then clipped that out of the background of this. I was kind of trying to go for like they have on the website all these statistics that have to do with poor water sanitation and how that affects people's everyday lives. So I was going to use statistics to kind of grab people in rather than just advertise it as another water bottle company out there. So this small one says more than 4,500 children die every day from diseases caused by unclean water. And then it says change his story, choose Nika. So I did decide to go with that one, kind of changed it a little bit. I didn't want to be super negative though, because I know a lot of times people like to see encouraging things in advertisements. So I have one of each. Another tagline was refresh yourself, revive the needy, Nika water. And then these are a couple of my finals.
Okay, so feedback here for Kelly.
Colors are really cool.
Yeah.
It's captivating. You could put a little bit more transparency on the
Water bottle?
where the words are at.
Yeah, and also the logo. Why did you put the white background? Because I think it would be readable even if you didn't have a white background.
I think you're all correct, but I think Kelly didn't know how.
Oh, behind the Nika logo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know
So
how to do that.
I'll tell you how to do it
Like,
in 1 second.
That's another 2 hours
Yeah,
for me, and
yeah,
I
yeah.
just didn't have time.
She's like, no, don't make me do that. Yeah, okay. It's a super
Because
easy
would
fix
you have
for
to
you.
trace around
No,
the
I'll
Nika?
tell you in one heartbeat, and
Oh.
it'll be super easy.
It's
for you.
quick?
Yeah.
Is it a background color or?
Do you want me to address it right now? I'll address it right now.
Yeah, what were
I
you
just wanna-
saying?
So all of you, all of
Right
you,
here, are you saying this, like make
Yeah.
that transparent?
And the
Yeah.
text box.
yeah. So let me.
I could do this transparent. I just wanted to match these because I didn't know how to
Okay.
take
So-
the background off the.
I wanted to hear all your comments before I start talking, because you know me, I kind of want all of you to have the opportunity to give your comments, and then I'll go back to that. More thoughts for Kelly on which preference? You have 2 ads for us, right? That one and like time's running out, right?
That's your
15 seconds.
Go to the top one.
You go to the top one.
Was that just the image, or did you want there to be a white, little wide, like, box trim on the right side? Not on the bottom, but on the right. There's like next to the water ball.
Oh, white edge.
Yeah, that spot.
Oh, here. So do you want this to
like
end?
inside. Sorry.
You're talking about right up here, right?
Yeah, that right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, which goes
That's
all the
part
way.
of the image, or is that just?
No.
Does it end where like the color ends, or does it end where the white?
It's a really good observation.
I would have known when I was doing this last week, but I think that was no.
Your
I think
ad-
I intended that because the photo. Well, I could have stretched her to fill the whole page. I can't remember, for some reason I didn't like that. Because I didn't want the band on the bottom to be completely isolated from everything. So I thought it maybe
Oh, so you
balanced
wanted
it out
it
more.
framed.
I'm not sure.
This is just, I guess, my personal opinion on it. I mean, but I kind of liked how it looks like on like your bottom ad. Like if you go down, it has the same thing where the picture's like full, and then it has like keep going down. Doesn't it have a white banner also on the bottom?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. I don't know. I'd try it with like just full color because I like how it like kind of stretches all the way out. It's really like eye catching.
There's a trick I used in mine where my photographs that I took wasn't wide enough to fill the thing. So I selected that dead space and used something in Photoshop called a fill, a content-aware fill, which Photoshop analyzes your image and like fills it in, like just pulls it out of
Does it look
nowhere
pretty
and
good?
magically creates it. It does look pretty good.
Yeah.
You have to like feather it, you have to blur it a little bit sometimes.
What
to
does
blur
you
the
suggest to do?
content-aware fill,
Do you have
Oh,
to
to
decide?
add more image, you mean,
Yeah.
for her?
if you wanted to.
Well, you didn't
That's
run
an
out of
option.
image. Did you run out of image?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. All right, we'll demo the both those things. Okay, those will be handy.
Yeah,
More
that's
thoughts?
gotten really good.
What's that?
That content-aware fill is
It's
really
gotten
good. in the
Yeah,
newer
it's kind of
Photoshops.
magic.
Like, you can just straight up just take a person out of something, no problem.
Yeah, it's kind of magic.
But
So
overall, you guys would reduce the opacity of the water bottle so you could see the image a little better and take away the white behind the mica.
you might not be able to reduce the water bottle opacity, but we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, it's just
Do you guys
not-
have
No,
a
I
preference
can.
for the positive or the negative?
Why wouldn't I be able to?
I'll tell you what
Because
you
that's
said.
what people were saying, was just remove the white background from the logo and the text, not necessarily
Yeah.
lower the opacity
Right.
of the actual
Okay.
water bottle.
Yeah.
But do you have a preference for the two ads? The negative and
positive
positive?
one.
I like this one. I don't know. It's just
Brooks likes this one, the positive one, compared to the time
Yes.
running out one.
Just more both sides of the, Africa or the unclean water and also the water that they're selling. The other one is more centered in the social.
The drama of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
okay.
is really powerful.
So,
And then,
which is
also
really
on the-
powerful.
On the second one, like after looking at it for a while, I get that I didn't really get the clock metaphor at first. How the 15 seconds is the quarter that's gone, but then like you have the rest of the clock stuff that's just kind of pointing off in random directions.
Yeah,
So go to
probably
your next
another
page.
thing that I
Next
couldn't
page.
figure out with my skills.
So
How
you
to-
wanted it to have like a
Like
15.
I see,
The
Yeah,
clock
like,
hands
I
are in the
can-
wrong spots.
looking at it now, I can see that the hour hand or the minute hand used to be where the chunk that you took out, and the hour hand's here. But the way this looks at, there's just like four.
Looks too random.
Yeah, there's just like four random lines that they can't really figure out what they are until.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I didn't notice that.
Well,
I really like the layout of this one though. Like the fact that it's like the full image is being used. It's really eye catching. Like it seems like it's like the first. Like it looks like so real. It looks like it could act like it's. I don't know. The layout's perfect. But I still like the first image more. I feel like that's the one that would actually get somebody to buy something.
Yeah.
okay, so here's what I hear everybody saying. You guys tend to like when you use the full image no matter what, because that's the full image, because you weren't really happy when this was the image and that was the composition. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that what I hear?
I feel like-
Okay. The other thing is I hear that the clock concept's really great, but nobody wants a timepiece sticking through a kid's eye, poking into the eye. So one of your solutions to that is, and this I find is a good solution for time in something. You could easily take your headline, do that, make a circle just like you did with your rectangle, make this have the white opacity, and right here say a child dies every 15 seconds from disease. Right there. And yet you still got your child here.
Actually, your child's not quite
I know.
smiling, but but
Is
Right.
you saying reverse where the
I'm
the
saying
overlay of,
I'm saying get rid of the overlay because I think we all were drawn to the beautiful color of this amazing artwork. Take the concept of your 15 seconds and put it in something more encapsulated here or somewhere. Not here, I don't know where, but wherever.
Mhm.
And then you get your 15-second concept without poking the kid in the eye.
or I think that maybe you could reverse where there's white and make a quarter out of it. Kind of like have that overlay,
Yeah.
and then add maybe just like kind of like second markers to kind of like let the viewer know more easily which
So
without
here's
taking like more
Yeah.
out.
So just opposite of what she did.
Opposite,
here's
you
the
could-
kid.
You could do little tick marks of 15.
and this is the white, you mean? Is that what you mean? Yeah. So just don't poke the kid in the eye anymore and figure out a solution to it. The other thing is if you go to the other one, let me talk about a couple of things here. First off, Kelly started this conversation by saying she didn't have good images because it's such a small company and it was frustrating for her.
Well, I didn't have a big selection. This
Right.
was one of the best ones.
Right. And it might not have been high resolution, but one of the solutions surrounding this, fortunately, is it's not a real photograph. You know, it's an artistic rendering. It's got all these beautiful colors. So if you enlarge this and interpolate it, you know, like interpolate means you bring it into Photoshop, you fake out resolution. You add pixels where there are none, which means you go into Photoshop, it's a 10-inch file, and instead you make it a 100-inch file. That's called interpolating it. Okay, everybody gets that. You check the resample box. Because it's an image that is forgiving, you can, and I'll refer to this in billboards. I don't recommend it. It's really a last-ditch effort, but you can check resample. I can show you in Photoshop real fast. You can check resample, and sometimes you can create in an image like this kind of a forgiving enlarged version of it. And I'll demo it real fast. The other thing is right here. So don't change your opacity here because you will lose your readability. But if you just take this box and this box, all you really have to do is hit multiply and the white will disappear and only the dark will show up. That's all you have to
So
do.
like the boxes, actually.
So that box with the logo has a white background in it. A cleaner designer way would be to go to Photoshop, select everything that's white, and eliminate it. So open it in Photoshop. You're on a background layer. Are you? Are you with me? No. A little bit. Yeah. Okay. I'll show you what I mean in a second. I'll show you. Okay.
But
So-
I don't want to waste everyone else's time.
Yeah, but
if they
everybody
know how
can
to do it.
benefit, right? Everybody can benefit.
Yeah, I'm curious what your quick and dirty way was.
My quick and dirty way was, I'll show you. I'm going to have you hop up for a second, and I'll demo it. Well, first off, big kudos to you. Nice job. So I think the decision on this one was we're not so sure about your white background. We like the full image because it's so engaging. If I went to Nika, I'd find your image. Is that right?
Yeah, Nika, just do Nika water.
Let's see what we get if we get it really fast. Oh, we get Nika girls. Sometimes I have to be careful what I Google, right? Okay, let's steal a logo. I'm just stealing a logo really fast. And here's an image, which is probably the one you used, right?
I think so.
Okay, and I'm stealing an image. Now, what I was going to say is, in Photoshop, this is how you here. All right, let's try this. There. Don't save. So here, I'm going to show you a few things. For your Nika image, which is low resolution, and you're going to have to do a billboard using it. All right? 100-mile smile. It's pretty. It's a very small image. It's 1/10 of a megabyte in size. And it's very slow to open. It doesn't even want to open. Okay. So, let me get rid of our timeline here. So here's our image. What I'd first do is,
one of the things I was saying to you is you can get rid of a background like in the Nika logo, which had the white background. You can double click on your background. You can simply go to your magic wand, which will pick up 32 pixels, see the tolerance number, wherever I click, meaning whatever is in that color relationship of 32 pixels of that color, it will select it. And I hit delete, and you'll see the checkerboard background, which means it's a transparent background now. So that's what you would do with your Nika logo to get rid of the white. And it's a layer. Now, again, your image file is RGB. RGB is great for your banner ads, not great for printing. You'd have it be CMYK for printing. I'm repeating this just to hammer it into all your heads. Is it too much talking for you guys? Is it like running out of your heads? It's useful? Okay, all right. Sometimes too much talking is too hard. What I was going to say about interpolating an image is, here's your image size. This is a low resolution image. It's a megabyte in size. And if you're making a billboard out of this thing, you're in trouble because it's so small. We can't tell because we're looking at it on a monitor. But when you print this image, if you use it in a brochure, you'll definitely be able to tell. So what you would do to remedy this is you check resample, which means you take that 1 3/4 megabyte, you change your resolution to 300 pixels per inch, and it now becomes a 30 megabyte image. And it's faking it out. It's putting pixels where there are none. So it guesses. It says, oh, look at the red on her high cheekbones or his high cheekbones. Oh, look, let's add more red there. And it pretends. All right? Now you get this thing called, I don't want to say artifacts. What's the word for it?
Where the image is bleeding around.
When it's rasterized. When it's chunky and pixelated. Anyway.
Those are artifacts.
Yeah, exactly. Those are artifacts. Okay, you get this pixelated artifact from low resolution like that. And that's what happens. Now, it's not going to look different in front of us as we convert it from 1 3/4 megabytes to 30 megabytes because we're still on display. But if I zoom in here, you see how it's kind of funky looking. But because it's a painting, it's an artist rendering, one of the things we could do, which is kind of what Lori said, which is Gaussian blur has a little bit of magic to it. And I actually find either Gaussian blur is a solution to kind of soften the artifact chunkiness, and you can just play with it to see if it works or it looks bad. You don't know if it's going to look better. Hang on, Sean. You can see what happens is if I blur it a ton, that's what happens. You can wiggle it around and decide what you want. Another solution to kind of fake it out and is good for people who have very bad complexions or really chunky artifacts from a low resolution image photograph of a person. If you can't get a higher resolution one, this is kind of magic, interestingly, is surface blur. I love my photos in surface blur. I look like I'm 24. Truly. It just totally smooths things out, and it kind of smooths out the field. And that's probably what I do to this. I'd surface blur it so it wasn't too blurry, but I got rid of all the chunky little funkiness in the image, and that's a really good solution. And now, and you get to play with how blurry it gets. You know, wait till this resolves itself, you can see. And the threshold means the color relationship side by side, what you want it to do. You get to play with it, and you'll find your happy place with it. And then ultimately, I would get rid of, I'm going to hit cancel. I'd get rid of this unnecessary space here by cropping my image because I'm just wasting space that I have no image for, right? Like that, all right? And now I'd save my document. And I'd save it as a PDF, I mean, not a PDF, I'd save it as a PSD file, which means save as, for working with it in InDesign, save as a native file format, Photoshop, because InDesign loves Photoshop. Okay, does everybody get that? Yeah, John?
This one particular image looks like an excellent candidate for Adobe Illustrator's raster to vector.
Yeah, it's true.
It would probably look really cool.
Yeah, it's a breathtaking image. And that was Image Trace in the beginning, but I think Image Trace creates monster files that get unwieldy, so I vacillate with that one. You're right. There's pros and cons.
I don't know if it'd be 30 megabytes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You're right. Okay, then the other thing is here. This is what I'll show you and answer Sam's interest in this quick fix, which was I'm going to place this image we just put on the desktop as a Photoshop file. Okay. And then what you had was you had your bottle, which had a white background like that. And then you went to Effects, which is right here, and you changed the opacity to, let's say, 90. That's what you did? Okay. And then what you did was you placed here, you placed Command D, you placed the logo, right? Like that. Oops, not in there. Hang on. You placed the logo like that. Did I get this right? Okay. Now, what I would probably do, because I'm extremely type A, is I would hold my control key down, get the choice of Edit Original With. I'd go to the Photoshop application. I would double click on this. So it was, I can't double click because it's an index file from the internet. I would change it to CMYK color for printing. I would double click on the background, so now it becomes a layer. And I would go to something called Color Range, and I would eyedrop the white. And it's now going to select everything that's white for me. And I'd hit the delete button, and now I got rid of my background. That's a very fast way to do it, and it's a cleaner way to do it. It wasn't my quick fix for you, Sam. I'll show you that in a second.
What did you click?
Yeah, I'll hit undo it. I'll slow it down.
Fast enough right there.
Okay, you open the file. It was an index file saved for web. But this is why we video, you guys, right? Then this is for web. We don't want it like that. It's not even RGB color. It's for its index color. It's reduced down to its smallest increments. If you're using it for your banner ads, you'd save it as RGB. If you're using it for print, you'd save it as CMYK. Say okay.
You have to resave it if I'm doing banner.
Yes, you would. Name one RGB. No, just change the color mode. That's all. Hang on, John. Your image, you would want to be 300, so hopefully you have a bigger logo. Hopefully you do, okay? Because if I resample this for print, right here, wait till you see how small this little thing is going to be. Right. And we could look together. But that's the right size for print, 300 pixels per inch. Then what I said is double click on the background so it becomes a layer so we can make it transparent and get rid of the white background. So I double click and now it's a layer. I went to select color range. This is one way. I eyedropped on the artwork the white. When I say okay, it selected everything that was white because that was what I eyedropped for color, and I deleted it. And now again, I would save this as the logo as a native Photoshop file, and I'd save it actually and name it CMYK. And the other thing I do to it, because I'm so type A, is I get rid of all this extra nonsense because you're just making a bigger file than you really need, right? And that's just the crop tool. That's all I did. I mean, it's not going to change really what happens. It just makes a smaller file. And like I said, I'd probably save it as, so I know the name of it. I'd save it like that so I know it's for print, CMYK. That's what I do so I know what I'm working with. And say, okay, hang on, I'm not done yet. I'm going to just power through this. And then the other thing, so now if I took this artwork and I hit Command D, File Place, it's going to replace it. And I locate my CMYK Photoshop file, and it replaced it, and it distorted it because of the resolution. And I can go to Object, Fitting, fit the content proportionally to the frame. There. And it's all chunky because it's the lowest resolution file on the planet. But let me hit undo for a second. I'd try and find a bigger one, or I might even redraw it, which would be that hard, truthfully. But Sam, for you, my quick solution was take this file she placed with a white background, make it active, go to the effects panel, change normal to multiply, and because she has that very transparent white background behind it, it's going to sit on 90% white anyway. So now I got rid of her white, because multiply makes this color overprint onto the color behind it, and white isn't going to affect any color. So that was your very fast solution. Multiply takes the image colors and whatever's behind it, it overprints on top of it. So if you got a blue here and you got a green here and you hit multiply, no, if you have blue here and you have a yellow here and you hit multiply, it'll make it look green. Is that clear for everybody? Again, yes.
Not only could you redraw that, but one thing I would definitely do is I would reset that text below the purified water. Set that as text.
You know, this would be an easy thing to live trace. It would be an easy thing to live trace in Illustrator. I demoed that. Does anybody want to see live trace one more time for a fast logo?
No.
No, okay. It's like the first day I think I demoed it. If you go to johnlemon.info under live trace, it'll be there. But John's right. Retype purified water, because that for sure will be unreadable when it's printed. Okay. But anyway, I think your solutions, back to your ads, I think your solutions are all great. And I think what we decided to support you is that we really, really like the full image. Is that right, guys? We like full images because they're so compelling? Okay.
And that was the other thing. I don't know if you wanted to demo the content-aware films.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, content-aware is really easy. It's a fun one. So here we are. Here you guys look. We'll open not the Nika logo. We'll open this other image, the Miles Smile image in Photoshop. And if my canvas size, for example, were larger, so I went to image canvas size, and I'm going to make my canvas bigger all around. There. So I have excess beyond my image. One of the things, and I don't know how this is going to turn out, one of the things John and Sam both liked was content aware. So if I use my magic wand and I select all the transparent area, it's a fast way to do it. I've selected what I want to become content aware, and I want to fill it with what I think is most similar to this rendering itself to extend the size of the artwork. So now it's wider, bigger, right? I go to fill, and I have options. I can fill it with these colors, or the color on a color palette, or content aware. And my blending mode is going to be normal. My opacity is 100%. And it takes everything in that image and it guesstimates what it should look like. And there.
And then if you do it again over the bit of the head.
Okay.
You can use the healing brush tool. It's really useful for erasing things like the thing on top of the head too.
Oh, the thing on. So one of the things, you know, so everybody has a different way of handling it. So here, for example, is called a spot healing brush tool. Looks like a Band-Aid.
Is that for like lens flares or like imperfections in film?
It's for imperfections in anything. It's for anything where you want to pick up a surrounding area. And I don't remember, I don't use this very much. I don't remember if I clone over here. Oh, it samples close by. I can bracket my, use my bracket tool to make it bigger. And I can click here, and it's going to pick the pixels around where I just ran my brush, and it's going to make a change to it, like there. It's picking up from the right, and it's bringing it over. You see how it did that? You can kind of see how my brush is doing it. I also, I tend to use what's called the clone tool, which is right here, and I will pick up the color I want, hold my option key right here, click, and let me make my rubber stamp tool bigger. So I'm picking up what's above here, and I'm going to get rid of that stripe right here and it picks up the color. Or if I do it right here, clone here, and run it straight down here, you see how it's getting rid of that seam? And if I want more green here, I can clone the green and I can get rid of the earrings because you don't really want the earrings repeating. You're losing your artwork. So I'm cloning, now I'll clone the yellow and I'll pick up the yellow down here. So there's lots of cool tools. I mean, you know, here the simplest way to always demo this is I'm going to click on the corner of her eye or his eye and give this person a very wise third eye appearance, right? And that's what the clone tool does. If you're afraid, I see you. And if you're afraid to ruin your original artwork, one of the other things you could do is I'm going to hit undo. I can create a new layer. I can click on this layer here, clone from the corner of the eye, click on the new layer, and it's still picking up where I originated my clone from, but now I can turn it on and off because it's a separate layer of artwork. Was there anything else you guys wanted demoed? No? Okay, yes.
One thing I found is handy, if you have not a very large margin that you have to fill out, is to select a few pixels on the edge and then free transform and just stretch it over.
Yeah, free transforming works, but it often stretches. You're right. What John's saying
It has
is,
to be real abstract. It might work on that.
what John's saying, for example, here, if our canvas size was even, you know, let's say 9 by 11. What John's saying is take your selection and select here, that selection, and go to edit, edit transform.
Command T.
Oh, it's because it's turned off. That's why. Here. I need to be on the right layer for it. So you can go to edit transform and you could just select transform, or you can select anything you want, scale, and I can just scale this upwards, and John's just saying that buys me more background. Sometimes it distorts things. Another thing you can do if you run out of something, you can often copy and reflect it over vertically. Anyway, I don't want to digress too much.
Thank you.
Was that a lot? That was a lot. Was that useful for you guys anyway? Yeah? Was that new tricks a little for some? Okay. Okay. So this artwork just calls to me anyway. It's quite compelling and beautiful. Yeah, I wish I did it too. Me too. Okay, so let's go back here. Big bravo to you. Got that. Okay. And who's coming up next? Speak up, you guys. You know how we're going to run out of time. You know us. So let's grab it. All right, I'm going to just pull somebody. So Rachel, here you go. And your last submission was
Just the bottom one from today.
this? No.
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 No, this one is Starfire.
Okay. There you go. Curtis, is yours up there? Yeah.
So I did my product on Whole Sunglasses. They make kaleidoscope sunglasses.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like a bunch of prisms and it just distorts everything. It's like a butterfly or fly, you know? They have like that really pixelated look, but so do you want me to go through the design brief? Or
Yeah, real quick. Yes. Because you haven't.
Yeah, so here's some of the slogans I picked. Here's some of the fonts I picked. The color palettes are based off of the lenses of the sunglasses. And here's some research images I picked. I couldn't really decide at first if I wanted like a simplistic or really eccentric theme. So I ended up coming up with 3 concept images. Oh, here's some other sketches I made. I was initially going to draw my images too and Photoshop it, but I didn't really have the time to do it. So the first one I made was really hectic. Like, I didn't even really work on it, but I realized there was too much going on.
So you made that in Photoshop?
Oh no, this is just like a photo I found, but I
Oh.
photoshopped the sunglasses, the logo,
Oh, I see.
and then I tried changing it by making it more simple. That didn't really work out. And then this is the second one I made.
So was that some image you found and then you put the glasses on it?
Well, I took the Twiggy image, then I photoshopped the sunglasses, and then I made the circle background.
Uh-huh.
And then the Holes logo is just like a font that I picked.
Uh-huh.
And then for my other
Does Holes have a logo?
Holes does. This isn't. I realized I uploaded the wrong file. For the logo, I was gonna put it at the corner right here because their logo wasn't that interesting. It was just kind of cartoony. And then this is the second one I picked. I kind of picked like a really simple design in the end because I thought that core images had a lot going on. So like if I added like another pattern or color, I felt like it would take away from the image. And this one has the sunglasses at the bottom.
Oh.
The concept images. I didn't like, I couldn't pick between the two, so.
So feedback for Rachel.
I really like the second.
This one?
The Twiggy?
Yeah.
Why?
I just feel like it's a really cool, like, I don't know, I just like the composition of the circle and the bright colors.
I like the use of the negative space on the last one, how it's just the negative space and then the roundness of the like the main part. The colors bring it in together and then it just kind of shows the kaleidoscope feel like you're talking about, like the prism, different type of colors.
Thanks, because like initially I was gonna put this pattern in the logo too, but I thought that the focus should be all in the center. That's why I made that circle.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The actual, like how it says holes in just black, and then the text at the bottom in black. That makes it really cohesive, I guess, because it's just kind of like blacks, whites, and then the main focal point is right there, those colors.
What do they want in that place?
The one, this one.
More thoughts for Rachel? So you're not?
Presentation's solid.
Who says present? Yeah, it is, huh? Did you hear that?
Thanks.
More thoughts? Guillermo, you got thoughts?
I really like it.
So, how do you guys feel about the word holes in this font compared to holes in the font in the second one?
I like that one.
You like the simple, who said you, Brooks likes the simple one?
Is that the champagne one?
Mm-hmm.
I like the complex one.
Yes. See, that's why I couldn't decide, because this one's really minimal kind of, but the other one's more crazy.
Can you go to the crazy one?
Yeah.
This Twiggy. More comments before I chime in?
Can you zoom in?
My other problem with my, like, I thought it was too symmetrical too, but I didn't really know how to, like, work my way around it.
Yeah, the prism thing in your font kind of complements what's going on in the main focal point. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I changed my mind.
Who changed your mind?
I like the first font better before, but then when she zooms in, I see what it is, like
Yeah.
the cuts of a
Yeah.
diamond or like the cuts of a prism
Yeah.
or something like that. It adds a lot more to like the whole look.
I think the first one's a little bit hard to see that you're advertising for sunglasses.
Let's go to the first
Visually,
one.
it's really pleasing, but it's a
That-
little unclear.
Yeah, definitely. That's why it was necessary to put, like, the sunglasses
At the bottom.
right here.
So,
This
More
is more
thoughts?
like more of an abstract approach because she's like in a room
Yeah.
full of mirrors.
yeah. So, so here's some things I do and don't like about this. I like this idea that you're entrenched in, you're in your own kaleidoscope when you wear these glasses, like your whole global world is a kaleidoscope. So that kind of metaphor is kind of cool. These straight lines don't go with craziness to me, and I like how you ended with the glasses, but you don't know that it's glasses. The simple holes doesn't mean anything to me. I don't know it's a logo. I think I'm like in a hole. I don't know what it means. So I'm not sure that it helps you there. And then if you go to the second one, I look at this kaleidoscope font, and it's so busy that I start here, honestly, because it's busy, or I go here. I don't know which to go to, and I keep going back and forth, and I'm like, what is this? And I'm sure that's going to tell me about my own reality. And so mostly what I want is you to take this and fill it up, and take this holes. So move everything up. So you start with the face, then you explain what it is, then you end with this, about the width of this, with the color, the rainbow colors in here, filling these facets. So I realize that these are called holes, and I realize that these rainbow colors here are in the logo, which ends down here. And then I think it's still going to be very simple, because you've got, here's what you're up to. You're wearing this cool image. It's drawing you in. You explain it. Here's the logo and holes.com or whatever the website is. I'm thinking that might work better, because I feel like the large type is competing. What do you guys think? Paul?
I have a question. Wait, so we're still allowed to edit these, even though you turned it in twice? There's only a 2-minute time limit on the assignment.
Good question. So I'm repeating the question for the video, which is, are we still allowed to edit these even though we turned it in for the assignment? The answer is, on the assignment, you're going to get graded for what you submitted, period. However, because you're doing a billboard, and because you're doing the banner ad, and you're going to take your concept from this and extend it to a brochure with your logos, with your images, the answer is yes. So for yeah, because, for example, for you, using, the woman in the bathing suit or the surfer image with a watch on the wrist, so when you create the brochure, you might want to reuse it in that. You might want to step it up. So same thing here. Rachel's going to get graded on what she submitted, but if she's creating a banner and a billboard and a transit ad and brochure, let's continue to refine this to the place where you want it to be for the future use. So yes, the answer is yes. You can refine it. It's not going to change the magazine grade, but it certainly will change future grades. It's kind of like I said, don't stay with something that can be improved if you can improve it, right? All right. Does that help you?
Definitely.
Definitely helps you. Okay. It's a cool concept. It's cool images. And again, this is another forgiving image, It's psychedelic. So who's going to say it's out of focus? You know what I mean? It's another forgiving image like the other rainbow one we dealt with. Anyway, nice work. Okay, who's coming up? Okay, Curtis, did you put it up there? Come on up. Let's go. Gil, you're ready. Brendan, you're ready, right? Who's ready? How many more people we got?
I updated mine since the last one. You guys told me to change everything on it.
Did we see yours like on Tuesday? No, we haven't seen it for a while.
Yeah, like when
All right.
had changed it.
We'll try and get there. We're gonna have to hurry along. We talk too much. I talk too much. It's my fault. Curtis, I don't know that you shared yours with us, did you? I think you did, actually. So you have the final ad here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure I went through all my stuff.
You gotta speak so I can hear you way back there.
I think I went through everything with you guys about what my selling points were. I kind of changed my concept to be more of like, to dream to be like Mike instead of being legendary, because that was already a previous ad campaign for them. I kind of changed up my some of my fonts to look a little bit more sporty. I ended up going with this second one right here. I changed my color palette to just focus on one set of the shoes as opposed to just the shoes line in general. So it's going to be focused on the Olympic, the Dream Team type of shoes. And then I had a bunch of different ideas for as to how I was going to get the message across, but a lot of them were a little bit hard to get onto the actual computer in a way that looked good. So I had a lot of mixed roughs, really. I just didn't really know where I wanted to go with it, and I ended up liking this one the most out of all of them, and then I kind of had to update it, and then I ended up coming up with this one as a final, which is that.
So, feedback for Curtis. It's good, he says. Good. Any other thoughts?
Might be, I don't know.
You go to the big one.
Yeah, I was thinking about the word. I mean, when it's big, it's easy, but I mean, when it's small, like the top dream on, it's a little hard to read. But when it's big like this, it's easy to read. But, yeah.
So you want a brighter color?
No, I mean, like this, like it's good. When I saw it small, it was just difficult to read, like the font was.
Yeah, it got kind of skewed when I put it on the magazine.
Yeah.
When he makes it bigger, it's very visible. So if it was in a magazine and you're reading it, it's still good. So,
Okay. Yeah, Jay.
That last one, it's really dope. I really like it. I would just maybe change. The text box and the shoe above, put it up a little, and then in logos, like you'll usually see it on the corner. Like I did the Nike logo thing. You told me, Vicky, about like the specifications of where it's supposed to be placed and nothing around it.
Yeah.
So I would maybe just put that up, put the Jordan, the Jumpman on the bottom left, below the shoe and the text,
Uh-huh.
and then make your text box wider so that you could maybe make the letters.
Make the Jordan logo bigger?
No, not bigger, the text box, or wider, so it's kind of more towards his elbow. You know what I mean?
So if you move this up, it's actually the shoe follows the line of his arm anyway, right?
Right.
So you're saying pull it up, make this text box wider,
Yes.
make the Dream Team 7s maybe wider, like a subhead.
Yes.
So beef up that so it's more readable, and then move the Jordan logo here.
Yeah, and then I really like that galaxy background, so maybe just make it throughout the whole poster.
I agree with most of what you're saying, but I think the way where it's blackened out and there's only like galaxy kind of shining on his face, I think that really well.
I agree with him.
Like I like how like there's only galaxy going towards him and everything else is blacked out. Because it kind of looks like the spotlight also, and then it's like because he's been in a bunch of movies. There's like Space Jam, which kind of complements that in a way. Yeah. But I didn't even see like I guess the computer when I didn't even see the Jordan logo. That's a really good call about the Jordan logo. That should go into the bottom corner.
Good feedback.
You just type in like Nike logo specifications, and it'll tell you exactly where it's supposed to be, and then it'll probably tell you can't have text within like a 1/4 inch all around the Jumpman logo and stuff like that. So you could kind of go off of that, and then it'll help you with your spacing when you go from there.
How's that? Great.
Did you
Really
try
good
white
feedback.
font at all?
What's that?
Did you try a white font instead of red?
Oh, did you try Dream On in white instead of red?
Yeah, I had it. It wasn't like as readable. It kind of went with the background.
Red's really good though, because I mean it is a red, white, and blue Olympic team shoe. So I mean you have the red, you have the white with the jersey, the armband, the shoe, and the blue kind of with that galaxy. So I think that kind of goes with the whole like theme of it.
Could be a little bit brighter for red though.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about the Dream On.
Make the red pop more.
Yeah, just a little more. I think that's exactly what I was trying to say.
So make the red more fire engine. Red,
Okay.
just brighter. And then the Dream Team in red down below, it's Dream Team 7. If you make that bigger, like Jay suggested, making it wider, it'll make it bigger, right?
It's hard because you have the shoes right next to that Dream Team 7s thing, so you kind of want the red to be the same color as what's on the shoe, but
Yeah.
it's really hard to read down
Yeah.
there.
Well, you'll try it. You'll keep eye dropping different parts. If you eye drop different parts of red off of USA and the number 9 and off the shoe, you'll find a bright red that'll still come from the photo, and you'll probably be okay with it, would be my guess.
Yeah, those
Yes,
are
John?
all so dark.
Red on a dark background almost never works. But one thing you could do is lighten the red.
Right. Not change the opacity because you don't want pink, but yes, right?
Lighten it.
Lighten it, yeah. Brighten it up.
I was thinking you could do like, because the colors for the USA thing and the USA logo or like logo on the shirt is basically white, red, blue. You already got blue, but you have and you have red. But I mean, I don't like how they usually like how Vicky already told me you never want to add a white outline to it. But I don't know, maybe if you could add some white into it, like maybe like mask it somehow, or just lines going through, I don't know.
Sometimes when you set something in type, actually we just scooch the chairs a bit that way. So one of the things is a big no-no in my little universe of the world is to outline type. It doesn't ever look good and it's just not successful. But one of the ways where you can create the illusion of something being outlined would be, for example, to copy this and then go to Edit, Paste in Place, which puts it right on top of itself. And then I'm going to select with my type tool the whole line of text. I'm going to eyedrop a red. Oops. I want to eyedrop the red, so I have to highlight the text and then eyedrop the color. Hang on. And if I go up to, I'm moving it with the arrow, the text box. That was up 1, that's up 2, over. It creates the illusion of, it's not really a drop shadow, but it creates an edge to it. It's not distorting the text. It's not changing the beefiness of the text. It just sets it off. So maybe that's a solution for the red type, maybe. Well, lots of hands. Yes, yeah.
But if you do an effect like that, is there a way to link the two text fields? So
Yeah,
that
yes.
I could see
So
trying to edit both of those being a nightmare.
it is a nightmare. So the two things you can do is I'm marking all the boxes. I'm holding my shift key down and deselecting the background, and now both the type boxes are ready to go. I'm also going to, because I'm just type A like this, I go to fitting and I fit the frame to the content so my text boxes are exactly the size of the type, and I group them, which is Object Group, Command G, and now they're forever linked and they'll move with each other and so forth.
And can you still edit the text? Or
The text is editable, yes. So for example, I mean, what happens is they're not linked, maybe what your question is, they're not linked, like if I change the word dream and I delete the A, I have to do it to the white box too. I
Okay.
can't do it to both simultaneously if that was your bigger question.
Yeah, that was wondering. If
Yeah,
you're
no,
still,
it's
like,
not a solution.
changing size or
Yeah.
exact wording. But
No, you got to do it. You got to do one shot.
Oh, sometimes what you can do too is put a blur on that white.
Yes, and what John suggested is something that I honest to God just don't like.
That's no good either.
No, it's back to that same solution on those banner ads that I told you I didn't like, which is I'm going to ungroup these and let me just move this out of the way instead of playing with trying to grab it. And basically taking this box, going to Effects, going to the Effects panel here, going to Outer Glow, which I think is what John's getting at,
On the
making my outer glow color. Let's go to Preview so you can see what I'm doing when I'm doing it. And I'm going to increase the size of my outer glow. Can you see it? No. Oh, it's because it's screen. Let's go to normal. Let's see if that works.
We're doing this on that white, correct?
I'm doing it on this
You just have to
red.
increase the spread, right?
I'm increasing. Yes, there we go. You see the glow?
Uh,
It's not my fave. Trust me. You can also do screen, which will make it white, and you can do that too. And it bugs me. Glow things bug me. Like there has to be a purpose for it.
You might be able to get away with it with the star background, though.
Well, thank you for calling attention to that. I agree with you, unfortunately. But it still bugs. Doesn't mean it doesn't bug me, okay?
And if you do, instead of that, do like a soft light blending mode, it might actually like brighten the stars behind
Well,
it to make it.
well, let's copy this. Oh, let's, how can we, well, that's okay. I'm not going to go waste our time. I want more people to talk. But solutions, different thoughts. But I do agree with some of them making the logos larger and so forth. Okay. Anyway, you did a great job. Okay, who's coming up now? You did yours already. Let's get people who haven't presented at all. You didn't present at all, did you? Come on up. Brooks, is yours up there too? You presented yours or didn't present yours yet?
I have not.
And is it up?
No, it's not.
Not up, okay.
I'm not the trailer.
You know, for those of you who got feedback and made revisions and don't have time to share your revisions, we'll see your revisions on your banner ads and on your transit ads, and you know what I mean? They'll show up there, right? Yeah.
Okay, so I basically changed my first idea that I had for the magazine ad, which is, wait. This was my, how can I zoom in?
Yeah,
Zoom
you gotta
out.
open it.
Oh,
So
there
go
it
to
is, okay.
download. Did it do it?
Yeah.
What did
it's
you
just
do, by the way?
Command minus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was my first idea, which is like, I don't know, more for people that do adventures or like, I don't know, but I felt like it wasn't really a theme of people who use Polaroid and stuff. So I ended up not using this one.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
Paul,
Yes.
trim mark, lead mark. Can you see it?
Can't see it from back
Yeah,
here.
not from back here.
You can see it at the top.
Look at the
yeah.
top. See that?
Yeah.
That's the difference. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. So, oh, it's not here. I can't believe this.
Wrong one.
The middle one says 27.
This one? Oh, I just chose the last one. Okay, gotta wait again.
So while we're waiting, because I know we're going to run out of time, as we always do, on Tuesday when you come back, everybody bring your banner ads in. And probably the best way to bring them in is as a complete PDF, and in that PDF with the phone and the iPad and them placed on the screens, okay? And if you've updated your magazine ads, I assume they'll look updated in your banner ads.
These are final, not progress.
These are final. Just go for it. I don't want you guys to drown in it. I want you guys to drown in your brochures. Do you like how I...
to drown?
Because I want you to learn what is required. Like, I want you to invest all your time in that. Right? Because you've already drowned in your magazine ads. The banner ads should be drown-worthy. Okay.
Anyways, for my picture of the product, I vectorized it. I did it. You know, these are all the pieces that put together make the picture look kind of realistic. That way I can just scale it as much as I want. It's not going to lose quality or anything. And this is my last ad, which is I chose to do a spread, but not. Okay. Is that a problem? No.
No.
Okay. Okay, so I changed my headline to is a headline?
Yes.
Yeah, to this picture is here for a reason. Now, what this means to me is that most of all pictures survive and last at least longer than we know now. So it feels to me that instant pictures that are printed on paper instantly are gonna last longer than a digital one that
The phone
seems
goes in the ocean.
yeah. So yeah, and I basically blurred the background here and put a black background to make it darker and the text more readable. And
Is that a continuation of that photo?
yes,
So where's the rest of the cat on the left?
on the left here.
Yeah, the edge of the cat.
Oh, here
Yes.
you can't see it. Actually, yeah, I had to move it.
You have to
I
fix
moved,
it.
yeah.
Okay. 'Cause-
Wait, is it very noticeable?
Yes.
Okay.
Noticeable that the cat has no back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it makes sense that you blurred it, but I think you might be better making a transitional blur
Mhm.
or something like that because it looks like two very separate ads to me.
Okay.
But go ahead, keep going.
And I did another version with a different picture. Yeah, here you can see it that it's continuous.
Yes.
Continuous.
Yes.
And yeah, I don't know what else to say.
When you do a Polaroid snap,
Mhm.
Polaroids used to have those white frames around them. Do
Yeah.
they still?
No. Well,
Yeah,
this
they
one
do.
doesn't.
Oh,
But apparently this new camera doesn't. I think so. I think it doesn't.
It's frameless.
Yeah.
Wow.
The pictures that I've seen on the website of the camera, you can see like a picture coming out and it has like no frame.
frame.
I might be wrong. I don't know.
Okay,
Let's
hold
take it
on.
just- it's not-
I have a question. The picture is here for a reason. The way you explained that made sense to me, but I didn't get that when I first looked at it. So does your body copy explain what you explained? Or is
What's
that
your body
something-
copy say?
Yeah. It.
Can
Oh,
you read it?
yeah. It
That
says.
makes me ask the question, well, what is that reason?
Mhm.
And then I'm going to look at the body copy to find out what it is.
Yeah, that's true. I think I did. Maybe. Okay. So it says, instant photography is the easiest way to hold your memories forever. Print memories in an instant and hold it up on your wall. Just $99.99. Go to Polaroid.com and get your first film package for free.
Yeah, it does explain it. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, the tagline's my biggest thing. I just don't even with you explain it. Like I understand where you're going with it. I still don't really see it. Like the is here doesn't really mean something is still here or like it doesn't have any indication of survival like time.
Yeah.
So like this picture is still here. Would be to
Right.
maybe tie to that
Okay,
more,
yeah.
or like
You should write these down.
physical is timeless or something.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually think that's really an excellent point. I used to share my studio with a photographer who always said, nobody takes out their digital camera, lays on their stomach on the carpet, and flips through your digital photos like that. We do it when we're sitting at a table, but it's not like a photo album you pull off the shelf from when you were 5, right? Or a photo box of scattered photos. So what you're saying is print it, because that'll be something that you'll revisit.
Mhm.
And it will still exist because your phone won't have fallen.
Because right now in our generation, people take pictures on the phone. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, but we're still going to have them. Hopefully, yes.
Hopefully,
But
yes.
what I'm trying to say is that this is
Yes.
secure.
This
right
is
now.
physical. Yeah.
Yeah, it's physical.
So you're right. Like printed photos are timeless because these are timeless photos. These are vintage photos. Printed photos endure time, right? What it was, endure the ages is what you said. Endure time. Maybe something that communicates, the message that because it's printed, you'll have it in your hand. You can carry it with you. You can put it on a wall. You can, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then my only question is, can you Google and see if they have those frames? Because what I want to happen if it's a Polaroid,
They
I don't-
It's just a picture.
it's frameless.
Yeah.
You looked, you already did that.
See?
Yeah, you can see it.
See?
They spit
This
out
is-
no frame. So what I really, hang on to that sec. This is really what I want you to put at the bottom. I really want you to put the real camera, not your stylized logo. I mean, it could be 1 inch in size, I don't care. But at the bottom, like an icon, like a logo icon, I want the camera with the picture sticking out. So your picture that's over here in your 2-page spread is coming out right here of the camera. So I understand the concept that you take it now, you get it now, it's printed now, and the camera spits it out. Because if I never saw Polaroid, I wouldn't know that from your body copy or from the ad. Do you guys agree with that?
Polaroid's a pretty well-known thing, but
Polaroids are known.
But it's also something that a lot of the world hasn't seen, so maybe younger people might not know.
If you're a
what
Martian
Polaroid
and you
is.
came to Earth, would you know how to use the product?
It depends.
Martians know. Sorry, you said Martians know?
Can we read his design brief and see if Martians were at Target?
Yeah. So try it, see if you like it or not.
Okay.
Right? So let's go back to it.
Well, that one has a frame. If you see that picture where,
Oh, sorry.
like this
Does it?
one, this one has a white frame around it. It seems like. I
So
think
maybe
it
it's because
might
of
be
white
just because of
background.
white background, yeah.
But it's a different camera though.
That's a different. There's some ones
It doesn't have
you can
it.
see it
but-
comes out with a non-white background.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, a little like tiny frame. Because
How cool is that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the idea of the print coming out of the camera, to me. That, it just tells me what it does.
okay.
So do you still have to shake it or not?
No,
I have no idea.
you don't shake. I actually bought one for my sister, and you don't shake it anymore.
Yeah, I think
Really?
that because now it's like digital printing. It's not the.
And they're tiny, they're this.
Yeah, you
It's
can
not
buy.
chemical, it's
You can buy
It's- yeah.
different sizes.
Yeah.
You just have to like hold it upside down so the light doesn't shine on it and kind
Really?
of shake
Yeah,
it to
yeah.
dry it off.
Anyway, let's go back to your concept. We got time for more people. Let's see where your concept is.
Oh.
So I think I think it's super clean. I think your use of white space is great. I think your idea of vintage images is strong.
I like how also the black and white makes the colors
Makes
of
the logo pop, right. Your limited color palette really flies. I would love to see a photo coming out of a real camera. I would love, actually what I'd really love is to understand the size of it. So I would love something that even showed me the hand holding the camera, pulling it out. So I get a sense of proportion and scale,
Mhm.
because that's lost in these.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. Try it. Might be distracting, but maybe, and maybe that just shows up in your brochure, and it doesn't show up here, but it shows up in your brochure. So anyway, okay, beautiful. So I think you're going back for your headline, is what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, who else is coming up here? Okay, come on, you guys got to speak up.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Oh, that worked out.
Yeah, it's it.
All right, so I completely revamped this. So, and then idea to use higher resolution images, just took out the skater because I don't have anyone who's willing to go down hills at the speeds that I need to get good shots. So, I don't know, it's pretty basic in here. The only thing I wish I could do is add some more texture to the tagline, make it actually look like it's painted on, give it.
Well, you already know now, today, exactly how to do that. You just learned.
Which one?
You learned that you take your type. Is that in Photoshop, your type, or in InDesign?
Photoshop.
So you have a layer of type in Photoshop that you distorted.
Yeah.
It's on a separate layer.
Mhm.
Photoshop has the same layer blending modes that you have in InDesign and Illustrator. They're actually more effective than blending modes. So you can, in your layer panel, that right above the layer is something that says normal. There's a pull-down menu of normal, and you try all those layer blending modes, and what you might end up doing is stacking. You might duplicate your white layer of type. Your layer of white type, and you might take the layer below it and totally hit something called soft light, which lightens the road with white. And then you might take the layer above it of duplicate white type and alter the opacity until you play with what feels like the texture of the road showing through.
Okay.
And you might also not have it be the same whiteness. Road be the same whiteness as own, because own you're right on top of, but road might be a little faded or something.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make it look like it's the this stop sign thing that's been on the ground has been
beat up a bit.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. I totally get that. That's what I'm saying. It's going to have a different whiteness to it in the distance than the whiteness under my skateboard.
Yeah.
Yes. So what do you guys think of how I revised it compared to?
I love it. Super good.
Totally communicates where he was at, but even clearer, right? See, look at you guys. You made suggestions and magic, voila, right?
Yeah, I have I think 26 drafts.
Do you?
In between.
Till you got here?
Yeah.
One
Very
thing
clean.
I'm noticing now is that your text at the bottom and the lines you have for the measurements, all of that is really hard to read from back here because it's really
Oh, wow.
It's really thin.
Is it blue?
No, it's black. It's just I think it's something with the projector.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it might just be, if you just gave it a little bit more weight to all of those elements.
Yeah.
That would be,
Well, it's something that it looks good on the.
Yeah, it's stronger. It might need more weight though.
Yeah. Is that? Yeah.
And your diagram totally explains it, which is very valuable.
Yeah, I was hoping. I was kind of worried that wouldn't come off as being like a skateboard thing, but then making it actually look like a wheel because it used to just be an outline. But yeah, I'm glad that worked.
I'm not sure I'd use the Ladera drop through type to be the same as the Ladera longboards type. I know why you did it. I understand why you did it. I'd probably leave it the same as standard. The yellow tells me it's Ladera.
Okay, so same typeface
same
or same
copy.
color, but same typeface as the standard, but you leave the color to do the highlighting.
What do you guys think about the yellow color? That says this is Ladera. That's pretty clear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, try them both ways.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I wouldn't replicate the scripty type in there. I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's easily readable.
We're also not sure how, when I'm going forward, how reusable this is going to be for the rest of my ads. So.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. But that might be something you just leave on, that little detail.
Yeah.
And just have on the road, in various forms or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's what my drafts have been so far. So.
Or it might be the opportunity for you to use the low resolution downhill one for your banner ad and put Own the Road on that one.
Yeah.
It's just a variation of the black and white road kind of thing. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice improvements, great. Great. Who else is coming up here? Let's go. Come on. No hesitation. Just go for it. Nice improvements.
Progress. Replies. Where's the reply?
Go up to Forum Ad Series. Go down a little. Go to your right a hair. Yes. And you probably have a newer version.
I should have a reply. No.
You didn't upload it?
There is.
It is. Did you hit send? Is it there? You didn't hit submit.
Nope.
It's
It's like when you have a credit card, you have to say okay twice,
Okay
yes
twice.
twice. Yeah.
There it
Yeah, it is a weird upload.
is. Is it a weird
You have
upload?
to say upload and then you have to say save changes,
Okay.
which I can always forget.
So here's the brief. I don't know if I went over my brief. Do I have to?
Rough enough.
Okay. Right. So
You guys up here with us?
here's the brief. Did Patagonia. This was an image I used for my sample ad. I haven't actually put my advertisement into a magazine or an object yet, but the idea is there. This is the thing, my target market, a little more eclectic, edgy people, not so earthy, I guess, but still have that thing.
What's the product?
It's, so I'm using wetsuits. Yeah. And here I just, Drake wears North Face. No celebrities wear Patagonia, I don't know. So, and they have a bunch of logos. So I tried to use the big one and the surf logo primarily. So I started with this. I don't know if I posted this yet. And the idea is fit into your environment. So it's like an image of a wetsuit in the ocean. This is where it started. I used like a t-shirt and photoshopped in the texture of the ocean into the mountain logo part. Time told me that wasn't the right thing to do. But, oh crap. Thanks to Anuja and Guillermo, I tried to, if this were like a hit thing, like to tap down with the arrow, the ocean, it starts black and then it slowly flows into the fit into your environment. So that's going to be my animated GIF as it goes. As it moves, it looks like the fit into your
Oh,
environment.
it fills that.
Yeah, it'll flow.
Nice.
So going down, going down, going down. Where are you? Okay, so this was like the extension, the next part of it. How bad does this look? I don't know why that's so bold at the bottom. But yeah, one page for the mag ad. And do you know why it's doing this?
Yeah,
Why it's so bright here?
Why it's beefier?
Yeah. It's
No.
just a little thicker there. And I still don't feel like this is like the one, but it's kind of getting to a place where I'm comfortable. Oh, what's that, man? Okay. And then this is going to be my spread, and I try to camouflage the surfer here with, photoshopping the wave into his wetsuit body. And then little call to action at the bottom, there's that logo pointing, and then quick little blurb at the top. So letting the image have most of its space. And I don't know, what do you guys think about the putting the wave in the body? For me it's like, I don't know what it is, but it kind of looks like he's in a wave or
It's difficult to tell that he's.
Yeah, right.
Like I can tell that the texture's the same, but I can't. He's not like flowing into it. Like,
yeah. And with these ones,
he's wearing a Tron suit.
with these, I was more getting at like this isn't a product idea, like an actual design that Patagonia could get into is trying to camouflage the suit with an ocean texture as opposed to like actual camo, green, brown, whatever texture. So here was more like the exaggerated. Let's try and make it look like his hand in the wave is like flowing into his body, but it's really difficult to. Because it's such a round, the wave is curved, and I don't know, I was just having a difficult time.
Is that the color of the image?
This whole thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit of enhancement on the green, but yeah.
Your text would probably go in the gutter.
It would go in the gut.
Yeah.
With what?
Because it's a double spread this, right?
Oh, yeah. And that's definitely something I have to consider shortening that out for one page, huh? Yeah. I think that's an easy fix, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shouldn't be too tough. Probably the same
So are these
thing
your two
down here, too.
concepts? This
Yeah.
one and the one above?
Yeah, these two are probably where I'm going to really develop the most. I haven't been working so much, I haven't had enough time to.
What do you guys think?
I just had another thing regarding the gutter that because the image is so completely different from left to right, it might look like two separate images when the center gets lost in the gutter. You might want to just look at
I don't know. I mean, you can have it. You don't have to make a white gutter. You can still have the
Yeah.
image, and I don't think that would be a problem then.
Yeah, I hadn't considered that though. That it'd look like two totally different images. I think the curvature of the white here flowing into the second page like here of the wake flowing in would help like sort of, you know, carry the eyes. But that's a good point with the gutter.
So are you making a pretend product that has a camouflage suit?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
But at the same time, it could just be like a, you know, a stunt, learn more, and then you'd go to Patagonia.com and go, oh, they don't actually have camo suits. But now I'm at the website, and now I might buy a wetsuit.
Isn't that false advertising?
I guess so.
So your product is wetsuits, but you're not talking about wetsuits. You're talking about
Patagonia.
it's all about fitting into your environment.
Mm-hmm.
Being part. So it's just really a brand. So it's kind of a fantasy branding anyway. I mean, although you have a product that's a wetsuit,
Yeah.
you're fantasy branding it that you're going to fit into the environment. Because
Yeah.
if he's underwater scuba diving, wearing a black wetsuit underwater with a Patagonia logo, you're going to have a wetsuit with fish all over it,
Sure.
right?
Yeah. So
Is
the
that-
idea is you could carry this into jackets or whatever their products are.
Well,
you know?
that's really your theme. You've
Yeah.
picked it to be wetsuit, so you're going to keep us in water
Yeah.
environments.
Yeah, of course.
So
Keep it easy for myself.
what do you guys? So assess. Yeah, Brooks, you're going to say something.
Well, there's just the one, if you go up to the one above,
Mhm.
if you use the same image of water, I think it would flow better. Like from the water above the mountains to the water.
Oh,
to
use the
west,
water in the
use
mountains?
exact same image,
Sure.
It actually flows
Sure, sure. Yeah, and that's
Size
it's just a time thing at that point. I would have tried. I would have had like all the different, you know, I just
I-
couldn't figure it out.
I'm wondering if you guys understand that mountainscape is the Patagonia logo.
Yeah, that's
mountainscape.
this.
Do you guys know that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did know that.
I
Thank
didn't know
you.
Patagonia made wetsuits, but
Yeah.
I don't think that I would have known that had I not seen your ad flow. And I know Patagonia well,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not sure that I would have grabbed that. It's such an association of
Okay.
a business stock market
Sure.
success or up and fall that I would lose it on there. I wouldn't see it as Patagonia Mountains and logo.
So then here I could talk about Patagonia wetsuits instead of like trying to make this elusive kind of.
Well, you can
thing.
make it elusive, but you can turn it into anything about your wetsuits. You know, our wetsuits are a reflection.
Sure.
Or you could get really lofty, like we are a reflection of the world we live in each day.
Yeah.
Let your, you know, wear your heart on your sleeve.
I just use
You know,
I just
don't
use
know.
their body copy as
Yeah.
placeholder for now. You know, it's like I knew I needed this paragraph and a call to action, so I was like,
I think you're going to have more versatility. And what do you guys think? He's going to have more versatility by taking people in a wetsuit in different environments and making the wetsuit match the environment than the one up above, which feels
Yeah, it's-
hard edge and disassociated and not
I agree.
not person related and earth related. It looks kind of
it
cold.
looks cool.
Yeah.
Cold is that what you said
It looks
too?
cool, but it's
I like the way it looks. It's
Yeah.
very, like,
It looks cool.
Yeah.
bam. And that was the point. It's just like really contour hard, bold.
Or-
yeah,
or
even-
didn't you say you were
movie
gonna-
poster.
Did you say you're going to put more ocean behind it though?
This part?
Yes. Who said that? Brooks said put ocean
No, you said
behind
just
it?
No, he said it in the mountains. Just
Oh,
have
the
it all
mountains.
carried.
Because the ocean is the mountain is behind the mountains, and the ocean that's in the guy are
yeah.
different.
Yeah.
There's like you can see a border at the bottom.
Oh, let it
the-
be a continuous image.
You mean
is what you're
here?
saying.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize. I thought
Don't
I
have
did
a
the
hard
same.
edge.
Oh, maybe it is different. I'm not sure. It's
And
gonna be a
let
different
the-
version.
It might just be a coincidence of where you decided to make the line.
Yeah.
But it doesn't like I can just like visually see a line like across the whole thing that cuts off the guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you got a little more to go, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely do. Thank you
Anyway,
guys.
great. So Tuesday, come on in. Don't forget to take your quizzes, and we'll look for your final banners.
There is, I thought quiz that were on Wednesdays. Did we not have one?